caring comes from compassion. And sometimes that compassion comes from being there, seeing people. I'd never seen forest fires, and what I saw was a mobile city set up before my eyes. 2,500 to 5,000 people were fed, slept, housed, all that. And there were 7 Native Americans that went over a cliff on a dirt road, and they were killed because they were riding in the open back of a truck fighting that fire, and that touched me deeply. The stories about how the man got there and stuff were just so touching. So the next year, West Yellowstone burned, and I didn't have anything to do, and I went over to West Yellowstone, worked on a fire. The burn areas were devastating to me. The little towns would get burned down. And so that very first year, I replaced a lot of the things that the children had lost, because I know from our own childhood, we had a house fire, and parents are busy trying to get silverware and clothing and stuff like that. And so we replaced all the things that the children lost. That was very rewarding to me, because I felt like that's where I made my money. I should return it back to the communities that were so devastated in some way. One morning I was in a fire camp in New Mexico where Smokey Bear was found, and I woke up that morning and there were purple ribbons tied around all the trees, and it was really eerie. And what I'd found out is there were 14 kids that had burned to death in Colorado. And that night I went to bed and I looked up at the heavens and I asked them, kids, help me help your families. Help me help them. And later that day, a Native American kid came over and he gave me a piece of paper that they had smudged and prayed over. And on there was some artwork of some firefighters walking into the heavens. So I took that and turned it into a t-shirt, and we raised like $108,000 off the sale of that shirt in fire camps. I got a hold of some people and we formed the Wildland Firefighter Foundation. It was formed in a bedroom in my house in Boise, Idaho, and in the interim of all that, I had come to to Washington, D.C., to the Vietnam Wall, and I was with a combat vet when we went there, and I saw the healing that happens at that wall. And I knew from being in fire camps, when we lose somebody out there, it's such a different culture there. Most people in America have no idea of the culture that's out in the mountains in the summertime, and the fires and the raging of it all, that there was no place for them to honor their dead. And so I spearheaded a monument at the National Interagency Fire Center in Boise and built it so that past, present, and future wildland firefighters could have markers there and be remembered, for the firefighters to come and help themselves heal, and for their families. A young boy sent me a thing one time. He wanted to help the firefighters, and he'd send all his birthday money to the foundation. And it was the day I was going to quit. And I opened this envelope, and here was all this pennies and quarters and everything in there. And I thought, oh, jeez, I hate accounting for all this change. Why couldn't somebody send me a check? And there was this little 7-year-old boy that got this money for his birthday and sent it to us. And at the bottom he said, compassion spreads like wildfire. So for me, caring is, I think the first ingredient is my compassion.